Okay, so now I'm in quote-unquote the business room. And I'm like, well, should I show my friends or should I just keep on working? And I'm like, okay, well, this is how it starts, right? So basically, this is an overflow room for miscellaneous items. Some of them I want to sell in a garage sale or maybe on Facebook or something like that. Some of them will go on Tisha's website, right? And then by the end of summer, for whatever I want for yard sales, if it hasn't sold by the end of summer, we've kind of come to the conclusion that it will be just dropped off at the thrift store. Then there's fabric in here. Right, so I got a little yellow table, can you see? That's one of the first tables that I bought when I moved in for downstairs. Auntie Joan and Uncle John used to sit at it all the time. Anyway, it was in Auntie Shemay's room, and I dug it out of there, and now it's coming in here. Because before I can do anything with fabric, whether I sew with it or sell it, I have to measure it. So I need a table. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of room. But then this is where some room is better than no room. That's all shit. Boxes. Thomas tracks. A whole box of Thomas tracks. Saving them for Leah May and Kyrie. After everything's cleared out, maybe Leah May can set them up in the living room at one point in the future. But other than that, it's a full bin full. And if anyone knows anything about Thomas tracks, they're expensive. So I've been hanging on to them. It's one of those hoarding moments, right? And of course, I want to get into some sewing. I don't know how and when. And I got to start some seeds here, like ASAP. And then as soon as it warms up, the yard starts to grow. And then it turns into literally a forest, like quickly. I have different kinds of forests in my yard. I have like a marshy kind where everything just gets green in the front, and it's like a high foliage jungle, where in the back it's more like a forest with trees because of the walnut trees, right? Different foliage. So I'm like, okay. I don't have a lot of room, people. See, I'm used to catwalks. 1, 2, 3. There's another one around here. I don't know where it is. That's 3. I have 2 upstairs. That's 5. And I know I have another one kicking around. Those are dressmaking forms. And I want at least 3 in here so we can get those creative juices going. I design better when I got 3 mannequins in a row. Because then what you do is you start off with 5 meters of fabric. 5 meters, and then you piece in different fabrics to that one fabric, and you make 3 different outfits. I was telling Tisha a little story about this gaudy looking fabric that had these huge strawberries on them. I don't remember the color. I don't know, maybe I have a picture of it, I don't know, but anyway, I probably still have a little piece of that fabric kicking around, and when I find it, I'll show it to you. Anyway, I was at the fabric store with the kids. This is when they were a little bit younger, right? And Sierra was with me. And in those days, I used to buy a lot of fabric. Because, you buy, what was it? You'd buy 2 meters and you get 1 free, or Just stuff like that, right? So I'd be running 5 meters plus, right? And that's when I had, I had I had good sewing areas, let's just put it that way. Anyway, buying what I want, picking this, picking that. Sierra says, buy this, Mom. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. Oh, no, Mom, just trust me. The girls will like this. The girls will like this. Because you have to remember, people, I used to go out with my carpet bag. Oh, yeah, that's what made me want to kind of bring down the camera. Because I wanted to show you how I used to do it like in the good old days. Do you see this? Do you see this? If anyone knows about... This is a carry suitcase. I used to have my costumes in that, among other ones, right? I had more than one, but anyway, and I'd leave, and I'd go to the bar. Tisha asked me, well, how did you ever get to see the girls? And I'm like, well, it was simple. It was just knock on the door. Does anyone want to see any costumes, right? Either yes or no, or they can't right now, come back, or whatever it was. And at some point, I'd be in the room and the bags would be open and the girls would be going through it. And, this girl try that on, that girl try that on. And we would be wheeling and dealing deals, right? Because if you buy more than one, then I cut you a break with the price on them, right? And so, or... depending, on the year and what was going on and what club, sometimes I'd have to sit by the DJ, right, and wait for the girls to go back and forth and just simply ask them, would you like to see any outfits? And, I'd come home and the kids, Uncle John, everybody, did you make any money? Did you make any money? Right? Because they knew if I made money, everybody was getting money. And we were going grocery shopping the next day, so... And so anyway, my kids were involved with all that. Uncle John used to hold Shimei when Shimei was a newborn because I was in the middle of a order. I was going up these old ancient stairs to the dancer's room a week before Shimei was due, and it put me into labor, and I was in the middle of sewing an order for these girls, right? Because they transfer every week out, whatever, right? Anyway, had Shimei. I was home within 3 days. They kept me, I think, one extra day because I was bleeding heavy with Shimei. And I'm telling you, people, I went right downstairs and finished the order and went back with the baby into the dancer's room, and everybody was, oh, what a cute little baby, what a cute little baby. And everybody was holding Shimei. Well, so, anyway, Sierra convinced me to buy this fabric, even though I just said no. And I ended up making bell-bottom pants. I think I only bought 3 meters because I just didn't want the fabric. I didn't think it would go anywhere. But anyway, I think I only bought like 3 meters. And I made these wide bell bottom pants with a nice little top and everything, under pieces, and that was the first thing when I opened the bag, people. It was gone. And then the girls were coming in, oh, I love that outfit. Do you have any more in that fabric? And I'm like, no. 5 girls to the room. Everybody wanted that fabric. And I'm like, holy shit. So you never underestimate, the moral of the story is you never underestimate what women like. And, every woman is an individual. I've had outfits, people, where I've had them for like 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Hell, when some of these ones that are hanging up in here, now mind you, those ones were kind of going through the circuit, but even still, right? And then it just takes that one girl to buy that one outfit with that one particular fabric. Yeah, you hang on to it for 7 years, and then along comes the right girl, and she just falls in love with it and can't go without. So, now this room is musty. I don't like the smell down here, people. These floors, I don't know. This house needs to be renovated. I'm going to have to work my way out somehow, some way. That's why I'm turning this into a little business room. How much money I'm going to be able to make, I don't know if I can make anything because I never have time to make money. And then when you make money, you know, you got people breathing down your back because you made $2. Right? So we'll just start small. I think I'm smelling plastic in here too because I've got these plastic bags. Can you see? But this room is smelling musty anyway. So, but I guess a musty room is better than no room, right? Anyway, and then I'm going to just give you a little boo on Auntie Shemay's room. I'm trying to put more food over there and more business stuff, make the money kind of stuff in here. It's just a matter of how to make money in a timely manner that makes sense, right? I'm trying to teach Tisha to, well, whatever I have, people, she's going to inherit. Let's just say that. So the more she's capable of dealing with it in terms of, I don't want to say aggressively, but maybe with confidence. Like, for example, ribbing. Do you see that ribbing there? Hold on, I have to put my glasses on. I'm pretty sure that says ribbing. I don't even see it with these glasses. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah, there we go. I can see it with the camera. See that? It says ribbing. Now, if you were to ask Tisha what ribbing is, she couldn't tell you. But ribbing is one of the most important things that you could possibly have when it comes time to make fleece little outfits, whether for yourself or whether for your kids or whether for your grandkids. And in this situation, it would be for my grandkids coming up. And do you know how old that ribbing is? Well, I got a big bulk of it when Sierra was 2. 2 people. Because I moved over from Victoria to Vancouver to start a company. Go figure. And Sierra was 2 years old. And I met a woman, her name was Marika, and she used to sew tracksuits. And she used to buy tons of fabric, right? And ribbing and all this. And she ended up selling me some. And I've used it off and on throughout the years. But that's where the bulk of it comes from. And that is so important to have. Because what it does is it gives you, you know, that little ribbing around the wrist or around the collar, you know, the ribbing. Tisha wouldn't know what that is. Not unless I show her. So this room is to teach her, to show her, so that when I go, she'll know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. And here's some good news. She said, oh, gee, because, you know, her business, right? And I'm trying to keep her motivated, and I'm trying to get motivated, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to do myself, I'm so excited to do under pieces because I like glitter, people. I like sequins and strands. I like beads. I like all that stuff. And it's easy enough to make, and it's something that would suit her portfolio. Right? So we'll start with that and a few teddies, simple teddies. And I've got boas. I got a whole bin full of boas upstairs in my bedroom. Right. So it'll be fun. It's just a matter of, I don't know, I'm just kind of like, I'm waiting for the weather to warm up so I can start having a couple of garage sales. Not that I'm selling very much, but, for example, I don't really want to sell it, but I don't really need it either, because what this is, do you see that? That right there? That is, a canner. Well, no, it's not a canner, it's a juicer. Where you put your food between. It's a steamer that creates juice, right? So you water your tray with your fruit, your tray with this, and it's got holes underneath, right? With fruit and so on. But it's bigger. It's bigger than what I have upstairs, right? But maybe for a bigger family, because I've got one that I use that suffice with the apples that I get from the tree. This thing is like maybe a third bigger than what I have upstairs. So that's an example. And then there's this. Do you see? I have that's a little reading thing there for books and stuff. So I've got like 2 extra ones that I don't need. What happened? Sorry. My kids used to say to me, "Oh, you have doubles of this and doubles, and you're buying multiples." Yeah, well, the thing about that was working on a nonprofit all those years, always had that group of kids on my mind, knowing that I couldn't really go out and do things with them unless I had enough materials to do it with them. Right? So, I still have like musical instruments kicking around, so I used to go out and let them run around the courtyard with drums and shakers and tambourines and all that kind of stuff, right? Anyway, so this is so far the business room, as you can see. And as you can see, I'm trying to set up my dressmaking forms. I got another one right here. I don't have a lot of room, but I'm working on it. And hold on now. Okay, so now I'm in Auntie Shumei's room. I'm telling you, people, it's so surreal in here. Surreal means quiet, right? Huh? What do you think? Hold on a minute. Yeah, I told you. I knew there was another one kicking around. A woman with a lot of coat hangers. Where can I put this? Not sure what I'm doing yet. Just doing it there. Right. I'm trying to make this more quote-unquote food. I still have lots of fabric in here. Bins full over there. With food on top. Alright. So, lots to go through and sort it out. Figure out what I'm going to do with it. I do want to sew some of it, though, that's for sure. I do. How much I'm going to see while I do it, I don't know. That's better. Just waste not, want not. You never know. What's Tisha? Oh, yeah. What was I saying about Tisha? Oh, yeah. She wants to learn how to sew now. That's good. That's good. So we'll see how it goes. You know how my mother encouraged me to sew? She gave me a sewing machine. Thank God. I guess I was 18 years old, maybe. And I was already, I had been in and out of the house. But I was living in a house with a man that was 10 years older than me. His name was Leslie. Anyway, he beat me, that one. Some white guy. Yeah. I ripped out a nail from a windowsill, jumped onto the roof of a, because it was the second story of the house, right? So on the roof of the shed, and then jumped off the shed and ran away and never went back. Yeah. Anyway, that's when she gave me a sewing machine. And in those days, I think I tried to sew just like squares. together to make a baby blanket or something. Just something, or make a blanket, just something simple, right? Never really went anywhere with it. And then it just kind of followed me. And by the time I was pregnant with Sierra, I had it in my mind I was going to make dancers' outfits and start a magazine. I even went as far as getting a license for my magazine for dancers to promote hotels and that kind of stuff. But I was on welfare, and I was only allowed to keep my license for 3 months unless I could produce money. Unless I could produce, show them that I was making an income. Show them that I was making an income. I had 3 months to prove that I could make an income off of my business that I registered legally. And because I couldn't do it within 3 months, I literally had to hand in my business license into the welfare office. I was 20, maybe 24, 25. I was right around Sierra. That was a shitty experience. That was in Victoria. And then I had Sierra. And then I said to John, I'm moving to Vancouver because I just can't make it out here. I'm going to go try and start a business in Vancouver. I tried to start a business in Victoria, and it didn't work. And then I decided I was going to go to Vancouver at age 25 with 2 kids. 27, I would have been 27. I think I had Sierra. How old was I when I had Sierra? Gee, I don't even know. I think I was 25 when I had Sierra. Anyway, she was 2 when I was on the ferry with her to go start another business in Vancouver with the girls. I was going to be a costume maker, right? There was more business in Vancouver than there was on the island. And being that I couldn't start my own magazine to promote, local fishing resorts and those kind of things, and where feature dancers were going to be, I went where there were more dancers. Only I didn't really know how to sew back then very much. I gave it my best, though. I sold a few things, but not like at the height when I used to come home and everybody would be, did you sell anything? Did you sell anything? And then if Mom got tipsy because, maybe I bring some beer home or something, have a beer or two, crack one open, talk to John. Kids always take advantage of me, but I didn't drink very much, people. Like that beer that I think Tisha says she bought it for me. I mean, it's been in my room for like 2 years, so you do the math, right? Okay, so I'm upstairs now. My son kicked me out of the basement. Why are you doing this now? I said because I have the energy. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, now that I'm upstairs, I'm going to finish this video. Just trying to stay positive here, people. So anyway, Tisha took me out the other day. Wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. And I picked up some more of this stuff. This is red lentils. Can't really see. I got it from a Punjabi store. The whole bag itself was $6 a bag. And how many keys is it? I can't remember. 2 keys. So 1 key is 2.2 pounds. So that's 4 pounds, 4 ounces, I guess. About 2. Right, and they were like, I think, $5.99. So that's not too bad for $11. I didn't have to pay for shipping. Now, they're not organic, but that's okay. I have lots of organic ones around the house. This is just backup. And then I got mung, these ones. Alright, these ones are yellow. This one, it gives you the calorie count, 347 calories for every 100 grams. So that's pretty good, I would think. I don't know what 100 grams weighs out to be, but maybe one day I'll do that. So anyway, these you can make flatbreads with, okay? You just use this and water and I guess nothing else. But you could grind it up, people, and put it in other things. You know, when you're making your bread or, I don't know, cake maybe, who knows, right? Macaroni. Right? So, and just keep at it. These ones I think were, oh God, maybe a little more expensive. $6.99, $7.99 a bag. They were slightly different. Huh?
Did you feel bad? Here you go.
I'm doing a video. Yes, I'm dehydrating banana peels. I'm dehydrating all the banana peels. And then I'm going to grind them up. And I'm going to use them for plant food.
Make it a sandwich.
Bananas have potassium in them. Plants love potassium. So, yeah, these ones, the red lentils were $4.99. That's a really good deal, people, for that amount. And this one was $8.99 per bag. So that one was a little more expensive. But stuff like this stores for a long time. And I don't know, people. We're in trouble. Alright, there's some funky shit going on. Now, you can store those any way you want. You can leave them in the bag and put them in a bin and leave it like that. You can empty them into a paper bag. Lunch bag, and then vacuum seal. I do that with my wheat. And you can do that with beans and that kind of stuff. Or you can use jars. Or you could use juice containers that have been thoroughly cleaned and don't really have an after smell in the container from the juice, right? Screw on the cap, then tape it, put it away in a cool, dark place, and it'll stay for a long time. So however you want. The point is when you're out and about, you just look for those things, okay? You're gonna thank yourself that you did. And then, because I was at my favorite Punjabi food store, I got their peas. All right. I already did a batch of these, and then Tisha went off and got me some other peas that were green giant peas, and I did 2 bags of those, but I prefer these ones. These ones dehydrate better. They're bigger, and I just like the end result better. And these ones, I don't know, what did I pay? I already lost the receipt. As you can see, it's extremely dark in here. Oh, no, here it is. What did I pay for those peas? frozen peas, $7 a bag. The frozen corn was $5 a bag. And then I got mixed vegetables too. The mixed vegetables were $7 a bag. The corn was $4.99, $5 a bag, but it's a little smaller. And then I'll dehydrate those. I'm putting mine in jars. And then I'm going to probably do another batch. So I have like 2 or 3 cases of just those 3 main ingredients dehydrated. Put away. Well, what you do, you open your bag. You have to defrost them before you can throw them into a dehydrator. But these are nice. So shop around, okay? Like these ones dehydrate really nice. Now there's just one other thing I want to show you, and I'm going to upload this video. Okay, so I'm going to end this video on this. First we'll talk about iodine. In the event of nuclear war somewhere in the world, where the radiation gets in the jet stream and we come into contact with the fallout. Not that our governments would let us know, because they didn't let us know when Fukushima was dropping its radiation from the sky. As a matter of fact, the government out here, they ended up turning off all the radiation detectors, so it couldn't be documented. Right? And the thing about radiation is it falls through the rain, and it doesn't go everywhere. It could fall here, but not over there. Certain geographical areas are more prone to be contaminated than others. So if you haven't gotten something like this, I highly recommend that you do it. Now there is a video through Canadian Prepper where there's a fella that understands the math around how much you should take. I'll make an effort to add that video with a link in my description box, and you can take the time to listen to the video and write down the number of drops that you would need per individual, whether a baby, a newborn, a child, or an adult. Okay? So this is something else you might want to invest in if you haven't already. Other than that, it doesn't really do anything. You don't need to have it so much in your diet, because too much iodine could be bad for you, right? But this is in case of a fallout and you had to flood your thyroid with iodine for a day or 2, no more than 3, I guess, so that it doesn't absorb the iodine that is radiated, that comes in from the fallout. Because your thyroid gland won't absorb any more iodine than it can. So if you provide it with non-radiated iodine, as the radiated iodine is coming into the environment, your thyroid will be protected. Right? And then there's a half-life to the radiation. So you would only use this for a day or 2, I think no more than 3. Right? So anyway, get some of that for yourself. I got 2 bottles, and I've got another one on the counter that's old, that's been sitting there since Fukushima radiation. And I was taking it for a while, but no, I'm fine. So, but I thought I should have this for my family just in case. Other than that, it never goes bad. Okay? Now, this is how we're going to end this video. Remember that? Spicy rum, vanilla extract, made December 4th, 2020. 35% alcohol because it was spicy rum. That's the type of vanilla beans that I used with 5 of them in there. And it was ready by June 4th of 2021, people. So, that means this is ready. Now, I did manage to buy, there's only so much I can do in a day, but I'm working on it. I did manage to buy little 2-ounce bottles of, just little 2-ounce bottles. Just, hold on a minute. I'm talking. Okay. See? Brand new. So, I'm going to send a couple out in the mail. One to April, probably one to Lucy, probably one to Lady P, and I'd like to send one to Tammy. But I got to figure out how to jar this up. So I figure, what do? I guess you wash these, right? You have to wash them first, inside and out. And then, even though this is alcohol, I'd still like to sterilize it. I would think that you can put this in the oven for 20 minutes to sterilize it. That's like $2.50 or something, right? Maybe I should try one bottle just to see. Because it's not like it's a canning jar, right? Just to sterilize it after it's been washed. And you probably don't have to. You just want to make sure it's completely dry before you use it. Once you wash it, clean it inside and out with warm soapy water and give it a good rinse and then let it dry. It should be fine because this is 35% alcohol and nothing more and nothing less other than vanilla beans. There's no substitute in there. There's no water, nothing. That's straight up alcohol, right? So I would think that this probably doesn't need to be sterilized. Just washed and dried completely. So I'm working on that. Okay. It's on my things to do list. Alright. So